The following announcement has been paid for by Perched on the Top Rope.
Here is my last thing for this whole thing. Since you mentioned Guy Evans, and we talked about Galen earlier, Galen mentioned to me that he was on the inside, working alongside Harvey Schiller. And
never saw it for him. I never saw him as a leader, but
long before Vince Russo even got the chance to take over, WCW had already, not WCW, Turner had already agreed to sell to AOL, and they kept it quiet so that AOL could kind of get their people in and figure out the books and things like that. So, but and Galen kind of mentioned this to Guy Evans, and he kind of left it out of his book. That might be a question for him, on the next podcast. That was with all his, because his book is phenomenal. I've read it cover to cover 3 times. It is amazing. And for anyone who hasn't read it, please, he talks to people that you just don't get to talk to on a regular basis.
There's an audio version too now, by the way, which is good.
Which is great. If you're in a car ride, throw that thing on, and it is truly something to listen to. But Galen says that he mentioned this to him, and for whatever reason he didn't want to cover that. I don't know if maybe the WCW guys and the executives didn't want to kind of break that kind of news or whatever, but he kind of led me to believe, at least when we were talking just a couple weeks ago, as we mentioned before, that Turner actually sold to AOL, a couple years prior to actually WCW going under, if you will.
Oh, well, see, yeah. That did happen. And Galen would know, obviously. He's a great guy, and he was on the inside much further deeper than I ever was. But yeah, the AOL Time Warner, that whole thing, we experienced all that, and it was a rough thing from the very beginning, and we all felt the wrath of it. Yeah, it was tough. I mean, the whole thing, as far as the inside workings of how it all went down, that book can explain it. I didn't know too much that was going on, but I was just glad to have a job there.
Yeah, and that book is phenomenal. And if it's on audio, like I said, go on Audible, download it. I've read it cover to cover 3 times. It is phenomenal. And he that book truly, and even Eric Bischoff, if you listen to his podcast 83 Weeks, he promotes it as well, as being the only legit story of or as good of a legit story as you're going to get as far as WCW is concerned.
Yeah, just to give a little more credibility, when we were at StarCast, and I was so thankful to be able to go there. When we were there, Guy and I met for the first time actually in person. We had never met each other, and we had obviously talked on the podcast and everything like that. But Eric actually, when I talked to him, he had me go across the hotel lobby and track Guy down to talk to him and thank him for the book. So that's how much respect he had for him on interviewing and telling the truth. I mean, there's some bad things about Eric in there, but yet he still knows that the guy did his best to tell the truth. So that it is a great book.
Truly. Yep.
Nitro, The Incredible Rise, Inevitable Collapse of Ted Turner's WCW.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching that video. If you liked what you saw, make sure you hit the like button and make sure you hit subscribe so you can get all our content here at Perched on the Top Rope. And fans, remember, spoiler free's the way to be. I'm out.